Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me again for another war recap. This time, a defeat by 1 star or half a percentage by Blue War. It was definitely not a hard war matchup. We did encounter a Town Hall 11, a Town Hall 10. I believe this guy down here was another Town Hall 10. Um, Still, at the same time, this was a very winnable war, and where we lost it is right here from our top players. Top three did not get any 3 stars. We've had a 3 star from John and Leroy and Zeus, but you can see it's very sparse at the top for 3 stars. And that's where we could have picked up one little extra star to win this one. Now, before I continue, I want to come out and say thank you to Flippy and John for your time in this clan. You guys brought in some good energy at times, and it was good to watch you attack and learn from you as well. It was unfortunate the way you guys left. Hopefully something may change in the future that can bring you back and we can try again. Okay, so let's see where we could have picked up those extra stars or star and extra damage percentage. Obviously, if you look at the top two attacks there, we could have picked up a star there. I mean, even here on my attack at 98%, I could have brought some extra wizards or extra archers to pick up the corner buildings, and that would have been a 3 star. So could have picked one up there, and Flippy, yes, Flippy also attacked 3 on his second attack when you can see here 6 was available. So I stress the importance of checking in on your second attack and not sticking to your original war assignment, because halfway through the assignments can change. If Flippy attacked 6 and 3-starred that one, we would have won this one. If I were to finish off my attack here with those extra archers, I would have 3-starred and we would have won. And of course, if Steph picked up one of these 2 extra stars up here, which were very difficult, the base design was quite hard to funnel the troops into the middle, we would have 3-starred and won. So, some highlights. Jumping right into Leroy's attack here on number 7. What I really like about this attack is the way he deployed his hogs. So, coming in with a funnel. The wide golem was a little concerning. He managed to go ahead and start using his wizards to clear the path in there and break the wall in. It was a good funnel, good enough that his hogs, good enough that his valves went right for that wall to come right into that base. Otherwise, he had a wall breaker fail up here that would have been detrimental to this attack. So in his troops go, and with that amount of bouts in the middle with a heal spell, it was fantastic. They just cleaned up everything off to the edge there. And I love the way he dropped his hogs off to the side, adjacent to the valves, not opposite down here or anything like that, adjacent, cleaning up the extra defenses so that they're not pecking away at the valves. So I'll let this continue on. Second heal, drop down for the valves. Third heal for the hogs over there. Almost lost them through the double bomb. I mean, if the guy places double bombs right there instead of in that corner spot and move that bomb to here, um, Leroy would have lost his hogs. But here comes the Valks. Sorry, I just emphasized that Valk because somebody picked on me for calling them Valks earlier when they're actually Valks. So it is correct because they're actually called Valkyries, not Valkyries. So yeah, I wanted to point that out, you little punk. So we're moving on here. The king and the Valks were tanking for the queen, and the wizards coming in to clean up. This was a very tight finish. He had to rage his queen ability near the end here with the mortar pounding him, but still finishing up in good time. So thank you for a 3-star attack there, Leroy. Up next, we have John, and I like this one from John for many points. I love the way he funneled. Golem, nice and tight. And did you notice that? It was 1 wizard per building. See, even with this side, 1 wizard per building. And he just clears that path right out, drops your wall breakers in to break into the first wall. And notice it's a staggered wall breaker deployment. He didn't just spam them in. Spam the Valks in though, because that makes a lot of sense. Drop the jump and heal as you go. So I'm going to speed this up. Boom, boom, boom. They go in, they use the jump. The other part about this is the Valks under the heel were strong enough to break it through these walls fairly easily. They just crushed the walls. However, 1 wall level up, it would be quite a challenge for the Valks to actually break through that wall. So the Valks to the left, the king and some leftover troops to the right, they're just going to sweep and come in together and finish off that base nicely. John even had a heal left over that he didn't need to feel to utilize to the end, which is smart to sustain those troops to get the 3 stars. Next one up is Leroy again, and I wrote a note down here that um, I like the way he uses his heroes. So let's watch where he breaks the wall. I'm just going to speed this up a little bit and watch the funnel. Oh, right, yes. So he funnels in very well right here, but there's this corner building a builder hut here. And it's important that you actually throw a wizard on here as well, because if you don't, when you go to deploy your Valks or your heroes, guess what they do? They come out and it delays them for a moment before they take that out. So I liked how he deployed that first before putting in his Valks, which came in and ran off to the side. He put his hogs right in behind, which is kind of okay because his Valk went towards the middle to the left, and then the hogs went around adjacent. But if everybody went to the middle, I think that would have been this would have not been a 3-star attack. So speeding this up right away, you can see how the troops sweep in, good coverage on the heel, and that's it. All the defenses are done. Just a little bit of a basic cleanup now for the 3 stars. So I'm just going to get out of this attack here and move on to Jesus' attack. I really like this one. I wanted to point out how he deployed his Valks to ensure that they went into the middle. He was very, I guess, not precise, but um, I'm losing the word on it. But he did it to the point where he watched where the X illuminated. You know, every time you deploy a troop, it marks where it's going to head. Yes, so he was very smart in deploying with that. So he clears out his funnel. And as you can see here, he staggers his Valk deployment. He taps it down, watches where the X pops up, and then he deploys some more. Taps down, and that way all the troops go into the middle. So this staggered deployment worked out very well for him. And being a Town Hall 9, attacking another lower Town Hall 9, he managed to come in with the hog adjacent deployment at the top there. The troops are going in the middle. They're just going to sweep through this base. I like the last few hogs there at the end there on a surgical style. That way if they hit double bombs, you're not left without any hogs. You still have some left over. And the hogs just do the rest. And then they'll clean up. Just like that. So that was great. Now two more attacks, but this last one is from Zeus. And I like this one because of the way he funneled his troops in. So golem there, not too wide apart. One wizard per building. He waits for them to break. Then comes the wall breakers. Look at that beautiful funnel. The wizards on the outside perimeter will go on to the next building. And if you drop your Valks anywhere, look at that. It's perfect line right down to the middle. Right in they go. I'm going to speed this up. He jumps them in. Everybody goes down. One mass troop movement there. Well, they walk near the end here. Still, they walk as a group. They stuck together. Like most clans, we should stick together, not bicker amongst each other. But either way, that's not the point of this war recap. I'm going to speed it up here because they're just going to take a walk around, and he's just out muscles his base. Great job there, Zeus. Okay, so the point of this recap is to say that our top needs to be top players and perform better. And we would have been able to get some extra percentage damage and a star. And I'll leave you finally with this one last attack on me, because Santa Claus here brought me a gift of a fun attack. So he'd go wipe me with 4 bowlers. Who does that? And what does he bring in his CC? I think he brought miners in his CC. Look at that strategy there for the 2 golems and the individual wizards on each building to create a nice large funnel, dropping his bowlers in and then back them up with wizards. So you got the bowlers tanking, you got the golems tanking, you got the P.E.K.K.A.s in there. I think the wizards were pretty much very, very difficult to get destroyed because they're behind such a big chunk of meat shield. So they're going to do a lot of damage while everybody just provides a, oh look at that, see the P.E.K.K.A. even triggered the double bombs, and he still has a chunk of wizards intact. Heals them there, jumps them out. This was a really fun attack to watch with the bowlers just walking around and hucking their balls. I'll speed this up for the sake of quickening this recap. But, it's interesting to see attacks like this because it's unconventional, but it works. Okay, guys, this next war is going to be a fun war. It's quite even in terms of the level. I understand we are all Town Hall 9s. They have 2 Town Hall 10s, but they're weaker than Weak Sauce. So hopefully our top guys perform well. Joe, thank goodness you're back in war. Nice to see you. Let's win this one so I can come back with a victory recap on the next war. Thanks for listening, guys.